Get crossed up. Don't get crossed up. Don't get crossed. He cool and we love him, but he can't check me.
Like one of those awkward wedding speeches where the bride's father thinks he's funnier than he is and goes on way too long telling stories. I mean, I have been to countless White House Correspondents' dinners. I have worked for two presidents who have spoken at these dinners. And it's always stressful to come up with funny jokes, but here we are. Now, the backdrop, again, we've been talking about this, but the backdrop of tonight's speech was not just that this is a man who is at somewhere between 30 and 32 or 33% in recent polls for overall approval rating. It's a man who spent his presidency attacking, threatening, and suing the very media organizations who are in the room as he is speaking tonight, which I think we all have to talk about and acknowledge. And as for the speech itself, and if you've been listening, you've heard from a lot of this, but just in case you're tuning in now or you're just trying to make sense of what's happening, he spent a good chunk of time talking about his favorite topic of all time, surprise, surprise, his job as an interior decorator, musing about the chandeliers in the Palm Room and new windows, everyone. We're in the middle of a war, but new windows and the chandelier. And of course, about his second favorite job as White House events coordinator, from the recent fight on the White House lawn, that was quite a horror show that we all saw, to plans for the future and his events he's planning in the future. He also talked in detail about the last Correspondents' dinner and threats on his life in gory detail at some point. He talked about the changes David Ellison might make, maybe joked about the name of the Correspondents' dinner being changed, joked about maybe a third term, which he said he was joking, but who knows? And also for a man who looked like he had very, very heavy eyelids for the majority of the night, and that is being very diplomatic. He felt like this was the moment to make an age joke about Joe Biden, of all people. So there is that, maybe not a big room reader. The closest thing he came to an actual joke was a riff about RFK's love of dead animals, and maybe a little bit in the beginning, but maybe there's more jokes to come.
House correspondents, how do you expect us to trust you when you don't have the self-respect to get up and walk out during an event like that? I could pick so many clips to highlight here, but just as a woman and as the mom to a trans kid, let's do this one.
Caitlin Collins, on receiving her award, was all about me. It's a fake. She shouldn't get the award. It was a fake, but I didn't mind. I said, Caitlin, congratulations. But it was fake. There's no question about it. But she's a young, attractive woman. She never smiles. I said, Caitlin, do you have a smile? Smile. You have a nice position. You're at CNN Fake News. You should be a happy person. So smile, Caitlin. Just smile. But we attack, and I thought Caitlin had really made it big with a major new sponsorship, but then I informed her that it wasn't her on the Bud Light can. It was Dylan Mulvaney. And Dylan Mulvaney cost Bud Light $35 billion in market cap. That was the worst commercial ever made, by the way, for those few people that want to hear that. Most people don't care, but I would. I wouldn't want to hire Dylan anytime soon.
I get it. I get that this is part of your job, but when he starts insulting women that way and trans women that way, flagrantly inciting more hate against trans people, after everything else, the racism, the destruction, the insulting of you, I don't get it. How do you expect us to respect you? How do you expect us to believe anything you say when you are breaking bread with that man? I don't think you understand the damage you do to your institution by showing up to an event like that, not once, but twice. And you sat in your nice clothes and you looked at each other a little uncomfortably, but you tittered and you giggled and you just hung in there. You shouldn't have. Have some self-respect. You should have walked out and you should never have been there to begin with. Jesus.
One question as we sit here today is, why is it that the U.S. government always has money for war and bombs, but they do not have money for health care and our children? Yesterday, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth sat in front of the Senate for hours and told senators that they had already spent over $36 billion on this war over the last several months, and that is the same cost that it would have cost to extend health care for millions of Americans last year when they made the choice to allow health care to lapse for tens of millions of Americans. And instead, they use that money for bombs to kill children overseas. If you don't believe that's wrong, then I don't know what's wrong with you. I want to just use my time this morning to talk about not what's wrong with the system, but to talk about the belief and imagination we have to get to where all of you are advocating for. The United States of America is the only industrialized country in the world that has failed to create a baseline universal healthcare system. It's not because it's not possible. It's not because it's not technically feasible. It's not because we can't afford it. It's because we have failed to elect officials who are willing to go 10 toes down and to fight for health care to make sure that every single American has access to health care. Now, other countries' universal health care systems are not perfect. I visited some of these places, and that's fine. But there is no person in this country who should go bankrupt because they can't afford to get health care. There is no person that should die because they're afraid to go to the emergency room. There is no person that should live in a rural and tribal community in this country who can't access basic care in their communities. That is moral depravity. Healthcare is a human right. It is the most fundamental right, like food, water, and access to dignity as a human being. Healthcare is a human right. And so I am so grateful for the work that our Progressive Caucus is doing to advocate for this being the primary piece of our platform as we move forward. Because I believe that America is truly at an inflection point. In the 1930s, after the Great Depression, during the Great Depression, the United States actually had the opportunity to adopt universal health care, and other countries during that time chose to do so. Now, we did some big things during that time. We passed Social Security. We created the modern labor protections that have been talked about here today. We created the precursors for many of our modern food assistance and other programs that were fully realized in the 1960s and 70s. And so what I want to say here today is bringing universal health care into the 21st century is the unfinished business of the prior generations. And I do believe that that will be our business, not only in the next Congress, but when we win back the House and then we win back the presidency. Now, in the meantime, we got a lot of work to do. I'm trying to do my part for New Mexico by bringing home millions of dollars for healthcare clinics through my community-funded projects. I'm working to create emergency care systems. We're funding behavioral health clinics. We're doing mobile healthcare clinics. But that is not enough, and the American people should not settle for table scraps. We need to demand healthcare for all, universal healthcare, and we need to continue to fight until it's a reality, because that is our generation's fight. So here's the thing. Corporations and hospital executives are trying to convince the American people that we can't have universal health care and we can't pass policies that will make it possible for the American people. But I just want to show you all what real leadership looks like. This is what happened in New Mexico this year. We were the only state that actually had a massive increase in enrollment in healthcare because we have leaders who believe in universal healthcare and who fought to fund programs at the state level to make sure that no New Mexican would lose their health care. New Mexicans also stepped up and funded food assistance. We are the first state in the country to pass universal child care and to ensure free college for everyone. So don't let them convince you otherwise. We can do it, and New Mexico is the proof.
Are asking for unlimited money for bombs when people can't feed their families. And I don't know how this administration intends to defend those decisions to the American people.
Not unlimited bombs, Senator. I'm asking for the right bombs at the right time to ensure we can deter our adversaries into the future. And that's how this is a generational investment. And it was the previous administration that didn't fund this department.
The reason why they are so upset with you and this administration is because the words you have used in the past don't add up. About Iran specifically, you said that we had obliterated, quote unquote, Iran's ability to create nuclear weapons. The president made the same claim. Yet 8 months later, in February of 2026, the president launched an active war claiming Iran was within 2 weeks of having a weapon. So when you say two very different things, the American people don't know who to believe or what to believe. They just know they can't afford their health care, they can't afford their food, they can't afford housing, and our farmers are continuing to suffer. So, which is true? Was it obliterated or wasn't it? What's the status?
The nuclear sites under Midnight Hammer were obliterated, but Iranians foolishly continued to attempt to pursue nuclear capabilities, which is why we destroyed their defense industrial base and so many of the other capabilities to ensure they can't get to a nuclear weapon. See, we're staying laser focused on the objective, and you're trying to make campaign commercials.
No, we're not.
That's fine.
So listen to this. You also say that you made the missile program, quote, destroyed and made combat ineffective, quote, Iran's entire ballistic missile production capacity. Every company that builds every component of those missiles has been functionally defeated and destroyed, and that the missile program, existing stockpiles were depleted and decimated, almost completely ineffective. So why are there missiles left to hit Jordan and result in the loss of life of our brave men and women?
As we stated from the beginning, the Iranian defense industrial base is effectively gone. But they do have underground facilities because they're the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism, and they've spent 47 years trying to hide their missiles under mountains, just like their nuclear capabilities, because they would like to get a nuclear weapon to wield it against us.
Of the war to believe, because it's either over or it's not over. It's within 2 weeks or it's not 2 weeks. We have no missiles or we have missiles, and that consternation is why so many New Yorkers are perplexed, stressed out, and find this war to be incredibly unpopular because they don't understand the choices that the president's making. They don't agree with those choices.
So we are slightly more than halfway through the year, and we already have more measles cases this year than we had last year. Yeah, this old Texas Paul. Hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. I really do. I hope you're having a good. This is what it is. Measles is one of the most contagious diseases on the face of the frickin' planet. And people didn't listen. People bought into they politicized disease. Republicans wanted to show their asses. You can't tell me to get vaccinated. You can't make me do nothing. Well, here we are. Measles is back, baby. And every year it'll double. It's going to grow exponentially. Going out in the future. Because, by the way, for the dumbest among us, vaccines aren't condoms. They aren't. A vaccine will not prevent you from getting a disease. It's just training for your immune system so that those of us with strong immune systems that were vaccinated, we will be able to fight it off. It doesn't mean that we won't get it. It doesn't mean that we won't be contagious. We will be less contagious than these sorry MAGA bastards that are doing this to us. Yeah. You remember this when they come at you with, we can't afford Social Security. We can't afford Medicare. That's communism. Yeah, you remember this. You remember the way they cost us both lives and treasure. And treasure. All the time. All the time. Their stupidity is costing us all the time. Never forget that when they run their sewer mouths.
Elon, you have, what is it, close to 250 million followers on X.
Yeah, because
you say things like,
popular guy.
Quote, civil war in Britain is inevitable. Just a question of when.
On the current trend, yes.
I mean, when were you last in the UK?
A few years ago.
Exactly. So I live there. I'm there the whole time. That is nonsense.
You live a cloistered existence.
No, I don't, actually. And the numbers also disprove what you say.
What numbers?
All the numbers about crime. London is a much safer city than any city in the United States. Violent crime in the UK is not where you think it is. In fact, it's coming down. You have painted, and because you have so many followers, so many Americans believe it, a kind of view that Europe and the UK are kind of, overrun with terrifying Muslim immigrants. There's rape on every corner. There's a sort of civilizational destruction.
I haven't said any of those things. If you have a large and rapidly growing group of people whose beliefs are antithetical to Western beliefs, at some point there will be a reckoning. They will try to implement their views, and those who oppose it will oppose it, and that's what you call civil war. And obviously, this is the trend. And you absolutely do live in a cloistered existence. And if you'd like, we can go on a tour of Britain.
Sure. I'd be very happy to come on a tour of Britain.
And you'll see for yourself.
You come see my country that I live in all the time, and you haven't been to a few years ago.
I've been there literally 100 times.
But when was the last time?
Literally a few years ago.
You know why this exercises me? Because you have really shaped opinion about the UK. And so many Americans I come across and I have conversations with, and I just had one the other day along the order of, oh, London's such a dangerous place. How can you know? There are sort of grooming gangs everywhere. There's violence everywhere. This is a picture that people get from things that you post or that are posted on X. And for example, you're posting for, what was it, 48 hours of Citizen Vigilante. That film, which, paints a dystopian, I've watched it.
Yes.
It was not fun. I watched it yesterday. It's not a very good movie, but it also paints a dystopian picture of Europe, and it glorifies vigilante violence. It glorifies the murdering of a Muslim immigrant family. I honestly think that it is irresponsible for you to put that up on X.
I think that it's a movie, and it's worth watching.
Trump, here to talk about lies. This was him yesterday.
We then got hit with COVID, but even including COVID, we did a great job in COVID. We never got credit for it, but every country was ripped apart by that disaster.
We never got credit for it. Oh, you poor thing. It's the lies. It never stops. The revisionist history. We never got credit. We were there. We experienced this. And I wrote on my Substack, a malignant narcissist's attempt to rewrite the mass death event that he made exponentially worse because of his incompetence and his indifference. Under Trump, the United States racked up the worst pandemic record in the industrialized world. Hundreds of thousands of preventable deaths as he downplayed the virus and teared the country apart, mocking masks, contradicting scientists. He turned public health into yet another battlefield on the incessant maggot mission to divide this country. Oh, you never got credit. Yeah, you're right. We never gave credit where credit's due. He should have never been reelected. This is what also drove me crazy during the run-up to the election. How could anyone vote for that thing? We witnessed what he did during the pandemic. The mass graves, the refrigerated morgues on the street because of overflowing funeral homes. They didn't have room for the corpses. He turned America for the first time in our history into a land of mass graves and told people to inject bleach for F's sake. How? How do you vote for that again? And it's also an insult. Everybody who voted for Traitor Trump this time around, how dare you? You have no compassion, no care for your fellow countrymen who lost people because of that thing. The PTSD, the stress, the grief, the sorrow, every time Republicans get in office. The needless death and sorrow. The empty chairs around the Thanksgiving table. How do you vote for that again?
And all of these things, I know you're not going to make news here tonight on this show. You're focused on the midterm elections. But what do you think this moment requires of leaders that might be different from when you came into office 8 years ago?
I think that when I first came in, it was during the first Trump administration. And what so many people wanted was to stop the chaos and to bring us back to where we were. And I think that, that was a huge part of what unified the country in electing President Biden, is this idea of restoring the soul of America. I think we're now in a new time. And I think there is greater recognition of the brokenness that led to President Trump in the first place, which is that this growing inequality yields to authoritarianism, and that economic instability and the collapse of democracy are intertwined. And I think back then, a lot of what I was maligned for and told was extreme is now almost seen as quite common wisdom. These billionaires like Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and all of these folks that have been supercharging the corruption of this administration, dismantling the very foundations of democracy, have proven that you cannot have extreme levels of income inequality and a functioning, thriving democracy at once. We have to choose. And the good news in that is that making the lives of working class Americans better means that our democracy gets stronger. And I think that is what our focus needs to be. But I do think that that will require a choice in a system that is controlled by big money and dominated by large donors. I think that many people will have to make a difficult decision to walk away from and limit and rein in the excesses of a campaign finance system that wants to purchase Congress.
Yeah, they're not wrong to be worried. There is a coordinated effort to keep J.D. Vance from becoming the 2028 Republican nominee. There are a number of factions inside the Republican Party that do not want J.D. Vance to become the nominee. And it's not a mystery as to why. Couple reasons. One, he is deeply untalented, okay? As a politician, as a communicator, he is very bad at this. He's unprincipled. He's not particularly smart. I know, you could say the same of Trump, but he's no Trump. Trump is talented. Whatever you think of him, he is a talented politician and communicator. J.D. Vance is not. Number two, he is deeply unlikable. He can maybe turn on the charm for a couple of minutes on The View, but like if you get him cornered, he becomes an asshole and quickly. Even in interactions that we've seen with his wife, you're like, that guy's cringe. That guy's kind of creepy. He's not likable. He's not a guy you want to get a beer with. He's not a guy that inspires or impresses people. That's a problem. But finally, and this is a practical, pragmatic concern, he is tied to all of the worst of the Trump policies, and in a way that hurts him and not Trump, right? We know Trump is Teflon. Trump is the cult leader. Trump is the Jim Jones, the David Koresh of the cult. J.D. Vance is nobody. He's nobody. He's a foot soldier. He is nobody. There is no loyalty to J.D. Vance. So he will have to defend or justify all of the Trump baggage, and he won't be able to do it in the way that Trump is able to do it. So, I mean, just on the sort of practical level, he's a terrible, terrible candidate coming after a second Trump term in which Trump is deeply unpopular, and so are all of his policies. So, yeah, lots of Republicans don't want it to be JD. Sorry, buddy. I know you did all of this to get to this moment. All of the soul selling, all of the principle abandoning, all of the lying, all of the selling out. You did it all to get to this moment. They don't want you. They don't want you.
We are back right in front of the hospital where Mitch McConnell is allegedly currently at. Now, behind me is the George Washington University Hospital. We're back here again. We were here yesterday. I want to pan over here. You see that black car right behind me to the left and the one over the right? That's his security detail, Capitol detail right there. There's someone in the car, couldn't get them to ask or to answer any questions. Now, Mitch McConnell has been here for 40 days. A lot of people have asked, just get inside the hospital. It's not that easy. You can't just get inside a hospital and see a patient. HIPAA laws, and also the hospital's not just going to let anyone, even like me, get inside. But Mitch McConnell is nowhere to be found. Obviously, we haven't heard from him or his team in a matter of weeks now, and we haven't seen him publicly in over 39 days. Now, here's what I wanted to take a minute to talk about what happens next in Kentucky regarding Mitch McConnell. Because in a matter of days, I believe it's either August 3rd or August 4th, it's a critical deadline. If Mitch McConnell is incapacitated, and it's publicly known before August 3rd or August 4th, the governor is going to have to call what is called a special election. If he is not, if that timeline passes next week, or in 2 weeks, I guess, then it gets a little more complicated, and Governor Beshear may try to make an appointment. So we're here. I'm going to continue asking questions. No one's answering any questions for me, but we'll see what happens. Spread the word, follow for more.
Right now, we just allow gerrymandering. we allow so much manipulation of congressional districts that 9 out of 10 House races are decided before the first vote is even cast. And that's in a 50-50 country. That needs to change. Money in politics needs to change. The flood of corporate PAC money going into our politics. And I sincerely believe that being against that kind of role of money in politics doesn't have to be a left or right position. I was in Montana. There's a bipartisan initiative there. It's going to voters on the ballot. It's called the Montana Plan that would do something about money in politics. I personally believe that we ought to have a constitutional amendment about this to clear up that corporations are not the same thing as people, and that money, flooding money into campaigns out of corporate treasuries is not the same thing as a person using their right to speech. So look, that's ambitious. That's definitely a big change, especially talking about a constitutional amendment. But we've changed we've amended our Constitution more than 25 times.
You're not even paying attention!
We demand justice for Lorenzo!
Justice for Lorenzo!
Justicia para Lorenzo!
Justicia para Lorenzo!
Justice for Lorenzo!
Justice for Lorenzo!
Justicia para Lorenzo!
Justicia para Lorenzo!
Well. And welcome to today's episode of Racism Makes You Stupid, even if you've convinced beta males across the globe that you're a genius and shit. A movie was released the other day and the racists across US of A got all in their feels because there was a black woman on display and they could not abide that play. So their favorite billionaire beta bitch boy came to save the day. Alonia Muskrat says that he's going to make a historically accurate Odyssey. All of that technology right at his fingertips, dear, and you still don't know how to use Google to ask it a few things? How are you making a historically accurate adaptation of the Odyssey when the Odyssey is a fictional story? Yes, the Odyssey is a fictional story. It is an ancient Greek epic poem that features clearly invented mythical elements like cyclopses, sirens, sorceresses, and Greek gods. How is he gonna make a historically accurate movie about cyclopses and shit? This is the guy we're giving billions of dollars in taxpayer money to get us to Mars, boo? Really? When he's too preoccupied with his racist hate today that he's trying to historically rewrite fiction. Whew. Your stupidity and your racism know no bounds today. You South African immigrant who overstayed his fucking visa, by the way. Biggest welfare queen we've ever motherfucking seen.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
I hope this thing doesn't fall. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your patience. It's 11:56 a.m. here in the Pacific time zone. We're sitting at a temperature of already 107 degrees. Our expected high today of 113. I looked it up just to make sure. We are, these daytime highs we're getting are not 1 or 2 or 3 degrees above average for this time of year. No, 12 freaking degrees above average temperature. So when I tell people in my cab, yeah, this is really, really hot, and they're like, well, it's the desert, it's supposed to be hot. And I'm like, yeah, that's true, but we're about 12 degrees above average. And people are like, wow, really? I'm like, yeah, really. It's only supposed to be about 101 today or whatever. It's not supposed to be 113, for crying out loud. Coming home last night, it was still 95 degrees, 96 degrees at fucking, 2 in the morning. It's fucking ridiculous. Go buy an EV, people. Start buying EVs. I'm saving up right now. I'm saving up for a Slate. Maybe someday before I die, I'll get an EV that I'll actually own. I drove one for 2 years. I really loved it, but I didn't own it. Slate EV, $24,950. If you got the money, go buy one. I know it's not going to do anything probably to change global warming. We're going to be, if there is a chance of turning things around, it's going to take decades. Who knows? Maybe even a century. But we got to start somewhere. If we don't start now, then there will be no hope. Go buy some EVs. Stop with all this fossil fuel bullshit. Although I like cars, I like muscle cars, I do. But we need to start getting off of this fossil fuel bullshit. We need to make the fossil fuel industry pretty much irrelevant as much as possible, as much as we can. We need to make countries that we buy and sell fossil fuels to, we need to make them irrelevant. We need to make OPEC irrelevant. Fuck the Saudis. Fuck them all to hell. All right, I'm trying to adjust this. It's probably going to make it fall. I know I shouldn't touch this, but I can't help myself. I don't know. It's looking weird. It's probably just the subject matter. It just looks like it's zoomed in too close. Hopefully the thing doesn't fall. All right. It probably will, by the way. Anyhow, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. I'm not able to scroll back to the top. I did see Brooklyn was first, and I'm very sorry to hear about your kitty that had to be put down, had to be put to sleep. My condolences to you. I know our pets could be, more so close to us, like little human beings, So it's, my condolences go out to you. I'm not able to scroll to the top. I do see. Here's where I'm starting on the chat. Luck Dragon says to Brooklyn. I guess talking about pets. Luck Dragon says I still haven't gotten over my knuckles, but the memories have gotten more filled with good times than bad. Brooklyn says I just have Trucker John live stream on a white background. Yep, that's what it was. That was the. I went minimalist today. with a minimalist approach. Nick Rich 11:15, so I'm about 45, 46 minutes behind. About 46 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. That was a long intro, about 30 minutes, so, you know, we play those intros, we're going to be behind right from the get-go. Petrozzi is here. William is here. Hey, William, good to see you. DPD is here. Anna Moore's in the driver's lounge. Hello, Anna Moore. Good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. Petrozzi says, TJ is probably finishing up the intro and eating breakfast. I did both. Yes. Well, I always have Hal Sparks show on when I'm editing and stuff to try to give me a sense of where I'm at time-wise. And then all of a sudden, the I Am Happy, You're Happy song came on. And I was like, I was still finishing up with the finishing touches on the intro. And I was like, oh, no, oh, shit. Because when they play the happy song, that there's only like 10 minutes left, you know, or less. And I was like, ah, shit. So that's where I was at the end of Hal's show. I was just finishing up the editing and resizing and everything else, and then I, you know, I have to download it from the editing bay there into the phone, into the photo gallery, and that took, you know, I don't know, 15 minutes probably just to download it. So by then, Hal had already signed off and everything, and so there you go. Yeah, 15-20 minutes to download the damn thing. DVD, I hope TJ's all right. You know me, I'm fine. Anyhow, so I'm just scrolling down a little bit, try to get caught up a little bit with the chat here. I think it's 20 past, still 44 minutes behind. Everyone's talking about their pets and their long lost pets, and yeah, it's sad. I'm just skipping down. Kevin Hawthorne's here. Hey, hello, Kevin Hawthorne. Good to see you. Thanks for popping on in to the driver's lounge. If you're new here, folks, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. We are currently at 4,545 or so subscribers. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, that one there, or something like that, please do so. We're trying to get to 5K Hennessy Day. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and support the show. Best way is by liking, subscribing, and sharing and hyping. Those are all free. Don't cost you a dime. Of course, you can do super chats and all that good stuff. I did set the goal at 10 at DPD's suggestion, so we'll see how that goes. I see we have 1 out of 10. I haven't shouted yippee yet because I haven't scrolled down to it yet. But I'll get you. You will get your shout. Whoever did that, but I do. But there's a little counter on top here, and I see we're at 1 out of 10 here. So we'll see how that goes. Let me scroll down a little bit here. Yeah, Love Dragon says for anybody who feels bad about for Bud Light, they lost $35 million. Don't worry, I'm pretty sure they bounced back. And Trump thinks he's so funny and witty, and he's not, and he's just stupid. He's a stupid president, and just brings up stupid shit. And we see how many stupid people vote for him. Damon Dog, the big dog's here. Damon Dog's the big dog's here. Damon Dog, the big dog is here. Thanks, Damon Dog, for coming on in. I appreciate you. I do appreciate you coming on into the chat. I see we're 2 out of 10 now on our goal, and that was Damon Dog. I do see that one. Buck99. Yippee! Yippee going out. And I will get the other one. Don't worry, I'll get you. Thank you so much, Damon Dog, the big old dog. Let's see. I'm just scrolling down a little bit here. Nick Rich says America can afford universal health care, the richest country on the planet. We can afford it. It's not going to be cheap, but we can afford it. I think we could definitely afford a public option, at least. I'm just scrolling down. Just seeing if there's anything that's going to evoke something in me to go off on a tangent. I'm sorry about everyone's pets. I really am. I'm looking for something a little more in the chat. MJ Daniel from up there in Washington State says GOP is the disease, DJT is only a symptom. DPD says we need to start preparing for the next pandemic because it's coming soon. MJ Daniel, at least 3 people, I imagine it's more. 2 of the children have died from just measles. Oh, I think there's a whole. Oh no, there's a whole. I don't know if you're just talking about in Washington, but across the country. Well, didn't Paul say it was like 3,800 or something like that? I see the little Elon Musk portion there didn't go over real well. I mean, everyone was getting grossed out by him. I don't blame you. Elon Musk is a gross fucker, and he's got a lot of blood on his hands as well. With the Doge cuts, cutting back all those agencies that do things like Food and Drug Administration and all that kind of stuff. But between Elon Musk and RFK Jr., they're going to have so much blood on their hands from all the people, all the unnecessary deaths that they're creating. Yeah. And more, what happened to SpaceX stocks? Well, it was overvalued to begin with. They knew it was going to drop, but it was a really gross overvaluation. MJ Daniel, all he needs is a fucking cat. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Goldfinger! Michelle says Trump put on his 2028 hat again, a disgusting president. Brooklyn says shaped opinion equals lies. I think lies equal shaped opinions, but you know. Tomato, or how's that go? Potato. Oh, Blood Dragon or DPD says Aaron wouldn't be here because she's adopting a dog today. Apparently, it's Aaron's birthday today, so happy birthday to Aaron, mod extraordinaire. But yeah, I guess she's busy today picking up a shelter doggy. MJ Daniel, and yet we've got this walking STD second time. Too many American voters are dangerously ignorant and shallow. Very much so. MJ Daniel, so much ignorance, willful ignorance. I mean, everyone has access just like we do, and we see what's going on. It's just willful ignorance. People just want to party, play video games all day. And then what they do see is probably just some Russian propaganda that's been fed to them. Russian talking points. But we do see, I know Hal was playing the last couple of days, the Laura Loomer stuff. What a 180 she's doing. Let's see. Blood Dragon says, I think talking about AOC, that woman is going to be president one day. I predict 2036. She'll be 46-year-old and ready. Yeah, I love AOC, and if she were to run in 2028, I would vote for her. Okay, just so you know. But I agree. I mean, it's not my choice. It's not my decision. It's AOC's decision to decide what she wants to do with her life. But I would really love to see her run for Senate. I would really love her to take Chuck Schumer's seat. I think Chuck Schumer should read the room a little bit, and he should just retire instead of getting primaried. He should just retire, and I would really love AOC to run for his Senate seat and be a two-term senator or something like that, and then run for president like that. I agree with that timetable or whatever, but or at least a one-term, whatever it would be. But I agree. I would love to see her run for Senate, be a senator. She's young enough. Like I've always said, I think the age-wise, when you're like a person in their 50s, a presidential candidate or a president, someone becoming president in their 50s, that's like the sweet spot of age, I think. Like anywhere in the 50s, 50 through 59, because I think you're still young and healthy enough and vital and with vitality and energy. You're still energetic enough, still have your wits about you enough, but you have a really good, half a century of life experience. And so, yeah, when you get around in your 50s, I think that's the perfect time. Not saying that 60s is bad. Not saying that 70s is bad. Not saying that 40s is bad. We've had presidents in their 40s. We've had presidents now up into their 80s, and we're seeing some of the issues there. But I think the 50s is like the sweet spot. That's the sweet spot. And so there's no real rush other than trying to get someone in there who is sensible and has great policy positions like AOC does. But there is a sense of urgency there. But I think we can get, other people in there that are very similar anyhow. So, but yeah, if she would go on to the Senate or whatever, get that experience of being a senator, and because being a senator is a little more a lofty office, I think that would be great. But if she runs in 2028, I'll vote for her. You know me, I've never shied away from my praise of AOC from the day she got fucking elected 8 years ago or whatever it was. I was saying AOC for president back then, even though with the caveat that, yeah, I know she was too young. She wasn't even old enough to be president then. And I also would go on to say, yeah, she needs to be in the House for a while. And even back then, I was saying I would like her to be a senator, go from the House to the Senate, and then president. And I even back then, 8 years ago, I remember saying, hey, if she does all that, she'll be in her 40s, just like the Luck Dragon said. She'll be mid 40s or in her 50s, and that's the perfect time for her to run. That there was no rush to put AOC in, at least running for president. Even though I was saying AOC for president, but I was saying that as in a way of, like, I guess, praising her or of complimenting her of how I thought she was such a great, already at her young age, in her early stage of her political career. I felt she was already really special, really special person, special politician 8 years ago. And so even though I said AOC for president, I didn't really actually mean it like right there, that moment, that minute that she should be president. Some people confuse that shit. So that's why I'm trying to clarify it. But yeah, she's great. She's awesome. Whatever she decides to do, that's completely up to her. But we'll see. She's already making great progress with her influence. Nick Rich, nobody's seen Mitch twitch or scratch his itch. I don't know what that means, but yeah, look at there. The reason we haven't, here's the reason why, Nick. The reason that we have not seen Mitch McConnell in over 40 days. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to show you why. Here's why. This explains it right here. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of hard to see it, but Mitch McConnell is on eternity leave. Nick. That's why we haven't seen him, because he's on eternity leave. One of these days I'm going to learn how to talk. He's on eternity leave. So if you're wondering why no one is seen hiding their hair, except for fake either AI or Photoshop pictures, and we've only gotten reports from lying Republicans that said they had 20-minute phone calls with him. But the reason we haven't seen more is because he's on eternity leave. I have to keep saying it so I can enunciate. Trying to enunciate. Anywho, Blood Dragon says, if when I die I see Mitch McConnell in heaven, I'm going to think to myself, holy crap, I was wrong the whole time. Yeah, I guess so. Either that or God is very, very forgiving. I don't know. Nick, it's 11:56. So I'm now 25 minutes. I've cut it about in half. Hey, there's Jolie. Jolie's here. Jolie says it's roller derby day, so I'll just be checking in from time to time. Love you all. Hey, good luck to the roller derby girls and guys, I guess. I don't know if it's co-ed, I forget, but good luck on the roller derby. I know you guys have a great time, you and the girls. So go knock them dead, but not really dead. It's funny. I just a couple nights ago. I know I've always talked about Kansas City Bomber and how, as a young, is it prepubescent or pubescent? What was I like when that movie came out? I don't know, 12 or 13. Seeing Raquel Welch play this roller derby star, I can tell you that there was some serious spank bank material in there, and it popped onto my YouTube feed the other day, and I didn't have time to watch because it was like 3 a.m. I was going to bed. I watched the first 10 minutes and then I shut it off. But it's kind of funny how we talk about stuff, and the TVs and the devices are listening to us, and then in my YouTube feed, Kansas City Bomber popped up. So be careful what you say. We're being listened to by our devices. Hey, Big Hook, the Big Canuck is here. Hey, Big Hook, good to see you. Big Hook says, apparently Elon's stock is crashing right now because of the overvaluation. Hey, I said that. That's what I always said. And no money other than government handouts being able to be found on the books, maybe. Yeah, he's really propped up by the U.S. government. The motherfucker's got a lot of nerve, doesn't he? All the government handouts and loans and subsidies or whatever, all the aid he's gotten for the U.S. government in hundreds of billions of dollars, if not trillions at this point, I don't know. And the motherfucker backs, a Nazi, because he's a Nazi. Nazis loving Nazis. Gator Tots is here. Hey, Gator Tots, good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. DPD says Helen Troy was known for her beauty, so by that definition alone, Lupita Nyong'o nailed it. Yeah, very beautiful woman. They're just mad because it was a black woman that they put in that role. Beautiful is beautiful, and it comes in all colors, all shapes and sizes, all colors. And these fucking racists can't see through that, I guess. They can't. They only want, I don't know, some hot white chick or something, I guess. But it's a dry heat. No, yeah, I know that's a joke. We can't get away from that joke, can we? It's freaking hot. Michelle says 117 in Phoenix yesterday, 114 today. Well, Phoenix has always been hell. I hate Phoenix so much. I don't know why anyone lives there. Phoenix. It's a pretty appropriate name, a bird that burned and came out of the ashes. It's like I can see why it burned. Phoenix is hell. Phoenix is hell on earth. DPD says good morning. Yeah, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Gator Toss been a reception hell. Yeah, we've had a warmer than average winter. Global warming is here, folks. I mean, it's been here for a while, but it's really here now. And like I say, it might take decades or who knows, centuries to turn things around, but we got to start somewhere. Let's get off of fossil fuels. That's what the Democrats have been trying to do since Jimmy Carter, at least. People call the Dems the like no do nothing Dems. Dems are trying. It's the do nothing fucking Republicans you're gonna need to be mad at. Nick Rich, get an e-bike. They'll get you here and there. Yeah, e-bikes are nice. I would like to get one. I really wouldn't want to drive one now though in the 117-degree heat for 20 miles. If it was just 2 or 3 miles, then yeah. But like for me driving to work, it's about almost 20 miles. I think it's 18 miles, something like that. In 113 or 15-degree heat, I don't really want to do that. Dick Rich, use some duct tape. I don't think duct tape's... Well, yeah, I guess I could... Yeah, that might be a good suggestion or a good solution. I don't want to do it right now. I might just have to wrap that thing and in duct tape. You know what they say, duct tape save the world. Nick Rich, okay, I'm just now finally getting to you, Nick. Sorry it took so long, but yippee going out to Nick Rich. He was the first one in here with the super chat or super sticker. Thank you so much, Nick. I appreciate you. There's your thumbs up and your heart. That was the first one. And then Damon Dog the second. 2 out of 10 on our goals for today. Luck Dragon 2112 says, I come for Trucker John's intros and I stay for the community. Hey, Luck Dragon, I know you've got 2112 in your title there. I think we've talked about it before. You're a big Rush fan, right? I've heard rumors. I don't know if this has been confirmed or not, but we're hearing rumors about Rush playing at the Sphere in Las Vegas. I know money is tight, but if you got the money and you're a really big Rush fan, now I've only seen the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. I haven't seen any concerts there, but I was talking to a passenger last night in the cab about this because they saw this one gal. Apparently, is a big Backstreet Boys. Is it Backstreet Boys that's playing there now? I'm not a big into the boy bands, but I guess it's Backstreet Boys. They're there now again, and they've been here before. And she said she's seen them twice before at the Sphere, and now they're back in town. They're back in town. She's gonna see them for a third time. But we were talking about the Sphere, and she said, "Yeah, man, it's just incredible. Like whatever YouTube videos that you see, it doesn't do it justice. To see a concert there, it's just amazing." And I could kind of relate because I know I saw some YouTube videos of people going to see the Wizard of Oz, and that's nothing like actually seeing it. It's just amazing to see it. So I highly recommend, if you're going to be in Vegas, if you got the, enough little this, a little extra this. I mean, you're in Vegas. You're here to spend money anyhow. So go to the Sphere, and check it out. Even if it's just the Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz was amazing. So I can only imagine what if you're at a concert seeing a band you really love, like Rush. They're going to be here, or at least 2/3 of Rush. But you know what I mean, of the original band. So we've got, I think Metallica's coming this fall, right? That's going to be a big one. Metallica doing some dates, and then I'm hearing for next year maybe Rush. Elton Gillespie, I would not wear a Dodger hat after they all sucked Trump's taint. I know. I knew someone would say it. I knew someone would bring that up. Thank you, Alton. Is it Paradise? Are you the one from Paradise? I knew someone would bring that up. But, what can I say? I've been a Dodger fan since the 60s. It's hard for me. It's hard to not continue to be a Dodger fan. I'm disappointed with the Dodgers for showing up at the White House and visiting with Trump, because this is beyond politics. This isn't just oh, like let's say if whatever president's there, whatever party they're at, and you just don't like their party, or you're a Democrat, you don't like Republicans, or if it was a Democrat in office and you're a Republican and you just don't like Democrat, that's not the issue. And I don't think that would be a good enough issue to like not go, let's say. But in the White House now, it isn't just about being a Republican. It's about being a fucking rapist and a fucking Nazi and a fucking war criminal. So I agree with you. All the people that are mad at the Dodgers, I agree with you. And I have let's give all praise and respect to Mookie Betts and Kike Hernandez, who both declined. Is that it? Declined? They both stayed home. And it wasn't like they just said, "Yeah, I'm not feeling well." I mean, I think they actually put out statements that it was basically because of his handling of ice, which is good enough reason for anyone not to want to visit him too. The way he's handled ice, the way ice is just murdering people in the streets, and the way they're just grabbing people just because they're brown skinned or whatever. So Mookie Betts, Kike Hernandez, let's give them some props. I am disappointed in the Dodgers. I wish more Dodger players would have declined. Is it? I feel like I'm not saying the right word, but and it just shows to me kind of how out of touch these players are. They're all rich most of them are rich multi-millionaires. Like Freddie Freeman. I like Freddie Freeman, but I would not be surprised one bit if he was at least, if not MAGA, a total Republican. What are you going to do, though? I mean, I guess I could just not watch any sports, but like I say, I've been a fan of the Dodgers since I was a little kid in the 60s, so it's a difficult thing to give up, But yeah, it was disappointing to see it. And obviously, like, I think House Sparks brought this up about, the owner or whoever was, because there's a big ownership group. There's not one owner of the Dodgers. There's a big ownership group. But the guy that was there really licking the taint hard. I don't even know who that guy was. But he was one that gave him the ring and gave him the jersey. And it's like, fuck you. Fuck you, But so whatever, man. If that gives you fuel to hate the Dodgers even more, then so be it. Every team goes. Well, who was it that didn't go? Was it a Philadelphia team? Was it the Eagles that said no? And I think there's been maybe some WNBA teams that have denied or declined going. So props to them, And if they can do it, then the Dodgers could have done it too. So it's really disappointing to think that these guys are so out of touch, And I know people think it's hyperbole to make like Hitler comparisons or whatever, but I don't think it is. At this point, we've seen so much death and destruction caused by Trump. I don't think it is hyperbole really to compare Trump to Hitler. And so my comparison is like, if Hitler was the president, would you go to the White House to visit, like that, knowing what you know about Hitler? I mean, it's a hypothetical, okay? It's a pure hypothetical. But if Hitler was the president and we knew Hitler to be the Hitler that we know him to be, would you still go to this ceremony, this White House ceremony for the championship, World Series championship team. I would hope that everyone would say no resoundingly, without hesitation. Everyone should say no. I would not go and meet with Hitler. I know this is a hypothetical, folks. It's a hypothetical. Okay, go read the word hypothetical definition. And I think the same should be done with Trump. Everyone should steer away from him as though he was walking typhoid, because that's what he is. He's a walking toxic fucking disease, communicable disease that you don't want to be near. That's the way he should be looked at. So yeah, I'm disappointed in the Dodgers because other teams have turned him down. I think the Philadelphia Eagles turned him down, and I think a WNBA team turned him down. So, and if Mookie Betts and Kiki Hernandez could say they're not going, there's lots of other players they could have done the same thing. So I'm disappointed in the players. I can understand the ownership, because the ownership group, they're all a bunch of multimillionaires and billionaires. They're all part of that class. They probably all voted for Trump. But the players, and even though a lot of them are multimillionaires, I mean, they need to pull their heads out of their asses and be more aware. They need to pull their heads out of their asses and be more socially aware. I understand they're playing 162 game schedule. They're professionals. Almost all of their waking time goes to playing and practicing, working out. And then whatever other time they have, a lot of them have wives and kids, and whatever time they have left, they spend it with them. But again, like I said the other day, you can take 10 or 15 minutes out of your day when you're on a plane flight or wherever. You could take 10 or 15 or 20 minutes, and you could actually get your eyes on something, on real, legitimate news, and be aware of what a monster that man is, that what a monster Trump is, and how many people he is responsible for killing. Going back to COVID in the first term, now with the Doge cuts, people dying in Africa now because of him, people dying here because of measles, because he appointed RFK Jr., who is an anti-vaxxer, to be the head of the whole human HHS, right? Human Health Services, the CDC. So I know I probably shouldn't be wearing the LA hat, but old habits are hard to break. I've been a Dodger fan since the late 60s. It's a long time. All right, Damon Dog. I already gave Damon Dog his shouts, but I did not give him a thumbs up, and I did not do the heart. So there we go, Damon Dog. Thank you so much. Dang it. There we go. And I'll give you another yippee. Yippee to Damon Dog for our second super sticker super chat. Damon Dog is just listening and chilling. Let me check something out real quick. Okay. I saw Political Punk on my TV. I know he's been talking about going to days, and but this was I guess this is from last night's show. That's on my TV right now. MJ Daniel says Bud, as in Budweiser, is owned by a Belgian-based company. I get a laugh every time I see TV ads about how American it is. Well, it started off being American. I see. Was it DPD? DPD with a $20 super chat. Yippee! Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much, DPD, for that. Let's see if I can read this before it jumps. DPD says the distinction at this moment is how you show up and what you show up. And what you show up for, because when this is over, it will be determined where and what side you chose, and if you break bread with the Nazis, history will not treat you kindly. Yeah, and I believe you and I and most of us in this chat, we are on the right side of history. Unfortunately, some of those Dodgers weren't when they were there. They could have said no. There was nothing forcing them to go that I know of. Mookie Betts didn't go. Kike Hernandez didn't go. It would have been nice if the whole team just said, no, we're not going. But I know a lot of those guys are right wingers, even though they don't really talk about politics. I bet you the majority of the team are probably all right wingers at the very least. I'm not saying they're MAGA necessarily, but I bet you they're all fucking right wingers. Or I bet you 3/4 of the team are fucking right wingers, man. And Dodgers, you Dodger players, if you're watching this, then prove me wrong. Come at me and prove me wrong. David, the Dodgers suck. That should do it. Well, they don't suck. They've got the winningest record in baseball, and they're 2-time defending champions, so they don't suck. Luck Dragon says, Nick Rich, I've seen way more economists say that America would actually save money if they had universal health care than what we have now, but big pharma and corporations keep us from going there. In the long run, it would save us money. But we would have to pay more in taxes. But it would still be a progressive tax system where the more you make, the more you pay. But there would be an increase in taxes, I believe. But it would still be cheaper than fucking premiums and co-pays, and then whatever out of pocket they make you pay, it would still be cheaper than that. I mean, people are paying $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month. Some places, some insurance policies. MJ Daniel says, watching the PBS show about Jimmy Carter, I am remembering just what an evil man Reagan was. That is when the road to DJT really started. I remember I was so sad when Jimmy Carter lost. I was so sad. That was my first presidential election that I could vote in. I voted for Carter. I remember I was working at it was a Xerox, like a copy store, place where you could buy paper and ink, and you could buy Xerox machines and copy machines and shit like that, and office supplies. I guess it was an office supply store that I was working at, and I remember I usually was mainly their delivery guy. I would drive their van and deliver paper and ink and stuff to all these businesses in the whole entire Victor Valley. But on this day, I was at work on election day, but I think I don't know if a lot of places were closed or what, but I remember being in, or maybe I finished my deliveries early or whatever. I remember being in the actual store, because usually I was in the back loading the van and getting things set up for the deliveries. But yeah, I remember being in the store and I was just sort of like stocking shelves and, you know, doing some busy work, I guess, before I would clock out or maybe. And I remember they had a TV on, not a big fancy flat screen TV back then, just a little square little fucking TV, but kind of up in the corner, up on a mounted on the wall there. And they had news, and it was starting to talk about the election and about some early results coming in. Because I guess this was in the evening, probably. I'm trying to think. I don't think I worked past 5 p.m., but maybe some early results were already coming in from the East Coast, because it would be like 8 o'clock back there, and Reagan was already starting to do the, win some big states. And I remember everyone was all happy and jumping up and down like they were at a fucking, at a sports bar or something. They're going, woohoo, Reagan's going to win, Reagan's going to win, woohoo. You go, Ronnie Reagan, woohoo, or whatever, And I remember I was just like, fuck, man, this fucking sucks. I was the only one out of, because there was customers in there, and there was, plus the people that worked there, there was probably, I don't know, 10 or 12 people. I mean, for some reason, there's a bunch of people in there that day. And I was the only, I think I was the only one who probably voted for Carter. And I know I did vote for Carter, but probably I was the only one that voted for Carter. And I was so upset. And you could see it in my face. I wasn't really saying anything, but you could just see me just sort of like, oh, fuck, this is fucked, And I've told this story before, but I remember it was like, and I don't remember saying anything, but you could just see my body language. I was not happy, and it was literally like a few days later. The owner of the fucking company called me into her office. It was this old lady, was the owner. Calls me into her office and says, "John, I'm sorry, it's just not working out. We're going to have to let you go." I'm like, what? For what? I haven't done anything wrong. I do all my deliveries. I'm on time with everything. She's like, she goes, I'm not going to argue. This is not an argument. I'm sorry. It's just not going to work out. We're going to have to let you go. So they fucking fired my ass with really no explanation. And to this day, I always think it's because I wasn't yipping and hollering because, with joy that Reagan won. And under my breath, I might have said a few things like, "This is fucked up, man. This is fucked up." But maybe they heard it, and I didn't know they heard that. But so fuck her. I don't even remember her name. Fuck that old bag. Fuck that fucking office supply company. Fuck them all. And to which me and one of my best buddies, good old Jeff Shipley, we went out and got drunk, and we went over to behind the building where they had the vans, because they had 2 or 3 of them, and we got our bladders nice and full, and then we stood up on the front bumpers, and then we just pissed all over the windshield and all over the hoods of a couple of vans. We're like, yeah, fuck you. That'll teach them. That'll fucking teach them. I guess Boston Brian went live. If you guys go over there, tell him I said hi. Hope he's okay. He's over in Kyiv, I guess, right? Let me see. Yeah, I see him. I got him on my TV now. He's in his. I don't know if that's a hotel room or whatever, but Got his hat on backwards. Just so I see him with this green shirt. Just so you guys don't think I'm lying. DBD, is that when you pissed on the vans? Yeah, that was when I pissed on the vans. I thought I told the front end of that story before as well. But anyhow. All right, I'm skipping down a little bit here. Big Hook says all the Republicans who have attempted to fuck with AOC have come out looking like the piece of shit that they are. She handles them magnificently. She's amazing the way she can just rebuff anything that comes her way. Brooklyn says my first election in college was Jimmy Carter. Yeah, my first was 1980, Carter versus Reagan. MJ Daniels says I would vote for AOC for president just like I did Clinton and Harris, but she would also be great in the Senate. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We've still got. Let's get through these 2026 midterm congressional elections, as I like to call them. Let's get through that, and then we'll start worrying about 2028, I guess. Love Dragon, you're so funny. He says, okay, I'm back. I had to leave for a second to apologize to Boss and Brian and tell him I'm going to hang out with Trucker John because that's what I do on Saturdays. Well, I appreciate you, Lug Dragon. I appreciate you. Nothing against Boss and Brian. I appreciate you for hanging out over here for a bit. And like people say, if you've got two devices, then you can split it up. Like right now, I got old Brian on my TV, and I gave him a thumbs up. William says my first presidential election was for George McGovern, which would be 72, I think, wasn't it? 1972 against Nixon. That's the election where my dad, who knew, here I was like 12 years old, he knew I hated Nixon. He knew that even though I was only 12, I was like a Democrat. I hated Nixon. I hated Watergate. I hated the Vietnam War. My dad went and voted. And when he came back from voting, he goes, here, I got something for you. And he gave me this little pin, like a pin that you pin on your little round pin. It said, Nixon now. So I don't even know if I ever got confirmation. I'm assuming that he voted for Nixon. My dad, here he is, longtime union member, union officer in the local union. I still to this day don't understand it. I got so fucking angry. I put that pin on my dartboard. I had a dartboard in my room. I grabbed a dart. I walked back to the other side of the room. And then instead of just doing, like this, when you do darts, I took that dart. I took it and I wound up. I did a wind up like I was fucking Nolan Ryan, full on motion, like throwing a baseball, but it was a dart. And I just threw it at the dartboard as fucking hard as I could, and I nailed that fucking dart almost dead center into that fucking pin. And it went right through that pin and stuck into the dartboard. Almost dead center of that pin. And I remember my dad said, he said something like, boy, that anger is just going to eat you up. And he walked out. And I just stood there in my room seething. I was seething. Big Hook says 12:19. Oh, well, how far behind am I? Half hour, about? I don't know. 38 minutes. I'm like 38 minutes behind. Something like that. Let's see. Do I have any other? I didn't really get any. Oh, well, okay. So there's this thing here. Now, apparently, today's the day. I just saw this today. But apparently, this is the National Day of Action. And I guess those are the websites, the links to things going on. A little late to host something, but anyhow. But I did want to just post that and make and mention that there are things going on, and there was a bit of a protest in the intro. And these Justice for All, this is going out to, I think, a lot of all the ICE killings and maybe other things also, but mainly for all this horrible, unjustified killings that so far ICE and those so-called officers have gotten away with. They're getting away with fucking murder. And so you might want to look up these events, even though today's the day. But even just going on, like I always say, liking, subscribing, sharing, clicking, those can be big things to bring attention to subjects and bring awareness. And then maybe if these groups do other things, they'll get more notice next time. So I just wanted to put that on there, Gator Tots, I love Derby darlings in Utah County especially. I'm so dry. DPD says, fun fact, every time a bill passes the House floor, it has two hurdles to cross. The first hurdle is called the final passage vote, which means they vote no. Even though the bill will pass, it takes away Prez. Okay, this is a good time for me to do my constitutional moment. Okay, because today we are still in Section 1, Article 7. Now a warning? No. Where's my constitutional thingy? Where's my picture of the Constitution? Why is stuff missing? Very weird. Oh, there it is. How did it get way down there? Oh. All right, for today's constitutional moment, I'm going to read the Constitution of the United States. This is Section 1, or Article 1, I mean. Article 1, Section 7. And this deals a lot with the House and Senate passing laws and what happens if it's vetoed. Okay. So here's Section 7, Article 1. All bills for raising revenue shall originate in the House of Representatives, but the Senate may propose or concur with amendments as on other bills. So that first paragraph just refers to that the House controls the purse strings, right? All budgeting goes through the House, I guess, is what that is. Okay, here's the second paragraph. Section 7. It says, every bill which shall have passed the House of Representatives and the Senate shall, before it becomes a law, be presented to the President of the United States. If he approve, why is it not approved? But anyhow, if he approve, he shall sign it. Is this grammatically correct? Anyhow, if he approve, he shall sign it. But if not, he shall return it with his objections to that house in which it shall have originated, who shall enter the objections at large on their journal and proceed to reconsider it. If after such reconsideration 2/3 of that house shall agree to pass the bill, it shall be sent, together with the objections, to the other house, by which it shall likewise be reconsidered. And if approved by 2/3 of that house, it shall become a law. But in all such cases, the votes of both houses shall be determined by yeas and nays, and the names of the persons voting for and against the bill shall be entered on the journal of each house respectively. If any bill shall not be returned by the President within 10 days, Sundays excepted, after it shall have been presented to him, the same shall be a law. In like manner as if he had signed it, unless the Congress by their amendment prevent its return, in which it's so hard to read this goddamn. I don't know why they can't do it in plain English. Anyhow, and plus, my eyes are going bad. In which it shall not be a law. Every order, resolution, or vote to which the concurrence of the Senate and House of Representatives may not be necessary on a question of adjournment shall be they don't have to bring questions of adjournment to the President, shall be presented to the President of the United States, and before the same shall take effect, shall be approved by him, or being disapproved by him, shall be God damn, I can't see. Shall be repassed by 2/3 of the Senate and the House of Representatives according to the rules and limitations prescribed in the case of a bill. I need an American Standard translation. But anyhow, this is about how if a president vetoes a bill, Congress can override it, but they need 2/3. They need 2/3 affirmative votes to override. That was very torturous reading today's constitutional minute or moment. Anyhow, you get the gist of it. Budgeting goes to the House in the first paragraph. The other stuff is about if the president doesn't sign a bill, it goes back to the originating House, and then they can vote on it. If it passes with 2/3 majority, again, it goes to the other House. It has to pass 2/3 majority, and then it'll become law. That's what we're up against. Though. I know we talk about the do nothing Dems. We talk about 2026, getting the House back, getting the Senate. We're going to do all this stuff. We're going to get fucking Medicare for all. We're going to get higher minimum wage. We're going to get all this shit. No, they're not. Not when you have a fucking shitbag like Trump in office who's going to veto all that shit, and you don't have 2/3 majority, to override that veto. Unless you got a lot of Republicans coming over. And I don't see that happening, but who knows? MJ Daniel Raquel Welch, 1 million years BC, is in 1966 in her fur bikini. Yeah, well, I love that one also because they used to play it on TV. They played that movie on regular old TV, and I can remember being quite enthralled with that one too. And now that I'm saying it out loud, I won't be surprised if that pops up on my YouTube feed. Wes Webb is here. Says they are not really mad. They are just pandering to their racist base. Fox News, what do you expect? Were you talking about the correspondence dinner? Maybe? I don't know. I am skipping down a bit. Blood Dragon says, I bet anybody in chat that Elon's version of Helen of Troy will not even be close to the beauty of Lupita. Hey, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, isn't that what they say? So no matter who they chose, probably someone's gonna not like it or something. I don't know. Or be dissatisfied. Anna Moore says that Musk and Trump are parasites and they represent us, the taxpayers, who are funding their failed projects and bringing us to ruin. Yeah. Wes Webb says the city of Phoenix has been there for 2,000 years. If you trust AI. If you trust, why can't you just say AI? Anyhow, common knowledge, the weather back then, not them, was apparently better until the mid-15th century. They had a massive canal system. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about Phoenix like in fucking Egypt or something? Okay, I'm skipping away from Wes Webb. I don't know. I think he's still talking about the intro, and we're way past the intro by now. Look, Dragon says, if you think the Dodgers were bad for showing up at the White House, and what about the press? Well, did you see that in the intro, Jess Craven, it says exactly that they shouldn't have gone. They should be ashamed of themselves for going. They should have, at the very least, got up and walked away. She said they shouldn't even have gone in the first place. And I agree with her. I agree with that exactly. MJ Daniel, many pro athletes are very Republican. And the thing is, they come from a lot of the pro athletes come from very either middle class or maybe underprivileged, or there's a lot of, they're not really like multimillionaires to begin with. Just working class, middle class, and impoverished neighborhoods and backgrounds, and then they become multimillionaires, and they're like, fuck that. Pick your own selves up by your own bootstraps, or whatever, All right, I'm just now getting to DPD's super chat. Yippee! You get another yippee. I'm just now getting to you, and there's your thumbs up and your heart. And yeah, DPD says the distinction at this moment is how to show up and what you show up for, because when this is over, it will be determined what and where and what side you chose, and if you break bread with the Nazis, history will not treat you kindly, and nor should it. Well, thank you for that, DPD. Puts us at 3 on our goal of 10 super chats for Super Saturday. Maybe I'll only do it on Saturdays. Super Saturday, or Super Saturday goal of 10. Gulf Marines here says, what up, brother truckers? Hey, Gulf Marine, good to see you. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate you. I do appreciate you. West Webb says, thanks. I guess in response to DPD's super chat, says, I believe that we should eat with whom we please for whatever reason there might be. The main thing is to vote MAGA out in November. I agree with that last sentence. That might be about it on that post. Wes Webb says, go Cubs. I'm told I'm supposed to say that. I used to like White Sox and Cardinals. Do you do everything that people tell you to do, Wes Webb? Are you that pliable? Wes Webb? Did Brian just sign off? Because I'm seeing a black screen now. Brian may have signed off. I'm just seeing a black screen. Wes Webb, there is stuff in the Bible about having. Oh, there he is back. About having dinner with your enemy. Doesn't the Bible say love thy enemy? Does it say love your enemy? Probably does. DPD says, so no more excuses for these motherfuckers to have some fucking conviction, and this does include those with a platform, which includes sports figures and celebrities. DPD says they're having a town hall meeting in my area Monday concerning flock cameras. Brooklyn asked, what is a flock camera? Is that the one where they take pictures to see if you're on your phone or something when you're driving? Is Josh C's here? Always good to see Josh C's in the driver's lounge. Josh C says, I have to go play 1812 Overture with black powder cannons tonight. I think it's funny to end a concert with an overture, but that's whatever they pay me. Is that the one that's like dun 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 or whatever, something like that? Anamore says they can read your license plate. And Josh says, yeah, Anna, track your movements, scan your face. Scan your movements, scan your face. DPD says also, talking about these flock cameras, it says they automatically can capture your license plates. They collect your data in the cloud. They can sell the information to third parties. That doesn't sound too good. I would be upset about that. Selling my information to third parties. If they're going to do something for law enforcement, it should just be just for law enforcement. If it's for safety, public safety, it should just be about public safety. It shouldn't be about selling information. DPD says, last week I was driving through Springdale and they were tearing them down because people are exhausted from being in a surveillance state. I don't even think about it. I guess I'm just blissfully ignorant. I know there's cameras all around Las Vegas. And I don't even think about it. Blissfully ignorant I am. Iterate I thought I am. Blissfully ignorant I am. Josh C says, yesterday I managed to go to Bass Pro Shops without spending $100. It was a fucking miracle. $98. You kept it under 100. Why has Whitmer chosen to endorse crazy ass Haley Stevens? She is such a disappointment. And Stevens hired a consultant for Palantir. She also has ties to the concentration camps. I don't know. Maybe she thinks, I don't know. You'd have to ask her, I guess. Wes Webb coming in with a $11.11 super chat. Yippee. Thank you so much. There you go. Thank you so much. There's a thumbs up for you and a heart. Wes Webb says, I am obedient to a fault. I thought you knew that. Brian is still on. I'm trying to watch both shows. Yes, love your enemy and pray for those who persecute you works for me. Is that why you're praying for me? Because you think I'm persecuting you? Well, thank you, Wes Webb, for the $11.11. The number of God, because God is number one 4 times over. And I have caught up with the chat pretty much, I think. I did skip a lot. So if I skip something really, really super duperly important that you think I really need to see, then you're just going to have to repost it. Hey, Whack P's here, otherwise known as P-Dubs, is here. Thanks for the stream. Well, you're very welcome. Thanks for being here. Are you going on tomorrow night? For those of you that don't know, P-Dubs usually does live streams at Sunday evening, right here on YouTube. Want to go hang out with P-Dubs on Sunday night? Can do that. Brooklyn SAU, Trixie LaRue says, blissfully ignorant is what I aspire to. I know that Brooklyn, aka Trixie LaRue, I know she loves it when I do this Very spot on. What are you kidding me? Brooklyn accent. What are you kidding me? She loves it. Blissfully ignorant, I am. Squirrel Girl's coming in with a $2 super chat. Yippee! Thank you, Squirrel Girl. There you go. I do appreciate you. Thumbs up and a heart. Squirrel Girl coming in and just saying, hi, TJ and Trucklers. Hello back at you. Welcome to the Driver's Lounge. Come on in and sit a spell. It's almost 2 hours. I will be probably ending pretty quickly. I got some stuff to do, and I'm going to try to head on back out to work today. Try to get some of that Saturday Vegas money in the freaking 110-degree heat. 113 for the high. 12 degrees above average temperature for this time of year. 12 degrees. Not just 2, not just 3. 12 freaking degrees above average. That's a lot. Lake Mead is shrinking every day. Crazy. Crazy. So crazy. Anyhow. They really need to come out with a new American Standard version of the Constitution of the United States. Those motherfuckers talk funny. Those founding fathers talked funny, man. Or at least they wrote funny. It makes me think they're not even American. Let's see if I got any other memes. I think I got all the memes that I was going to do today. I only found a couple. Let's see. MJ Daniel says, I just read ICE has been detaining Native Americans. Why am I not surprised? I've seen a couple of videos on that. And this isn't just happening. I mean, this has been a while now. I've seen it where they detained Native Americans. And they're like, dude, we're supposed to be here. We were here before all y'all. So get the fuck away. You're gonna get a tomahawk in your ass. Hey, Whack P does became a driver. Thank you so much. Yippee. Yeah, we do have memberships. Thank you so much. Starting at the low bargain basement price of less than the price of a Snicker-bar. Speaking of Boston Brian, for less than the price of the average Snicker-bar, you can become a member. So thank you so much for doing that. We've got memberships. Yeah, we got like 50 or 60 members. Help support the show. I do appreciate it. Squirrel Girl, yippee! Squirrel Girl, thank you so much with another. Not subscribe, but you can do that too. Yeah, but thank you so much. It says, come on for the goal. Yeah, we're 4 away. We got 12 minutes and 38 seconds. Can we Can we get 4 more? Can we have 4 more super chats, super stickers within 12 minutes and 30 seconds? I think we could do it. I got faith in you. DPD says, what does it say when your neighbor's dog prefers your pool to their own? That your pool is just the perfect temperature and very clean, I imagine. I don't know. MJ Daniel, the rest of us are illegals. Yeah. Can you imagine the gall, the unmitigated gall for immigration motherfuckers to detain or harass in any way a native fucking American? The unmitigated gall. David West from Denver, $2 super chat. Yippee! Thank you so much. Thank you there, David. I appreciate you. Look at that. We're 3 away. We've got 11 minutes, 18 seconds. Can we do it? Can we do it? I don't know. We'll see. 3 minutes, 12 minutes, 11 minutes, whatever it is. 3 to go. But thank you, David Weiss. I appreciate you. Whack P says you're very welcome. Well, thank you, P Dubs. I appreciate it. DVD says 3 more. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. This is all going in the car fund. I got to get me a car. Probably will be fossil fuel burning. I know Nick Rich was saying get an e-bike, which would be great. But I think I need to get the car first. I really, really do. It's going to be fossil fuel burning, CO2 emitting car. But hopefully that will help me to bring in more income, get to work more often, work more hours, make more money, and then I could maybe get an e-bike. And on the cooler days, I would like to ride an e-bike to work. Maybe not every day, certainly not in this 113 degree heat. Although who knows, maybe it wouldn't be that bad because you're going through the breeze. I don't know. It probably would be bad. But certainly during the cooler months, and we have 6 or 7 months that aren't really that bad here. They're actually really nice, especially with the global warmings have made winters really nice. So, well, there's that. But so first I got to get an old clunker, fossil fuel burning, CO2 emitting car. Then maybe get an e-bike, maybe, and then get an EV. I really do like the idea of getting that slate. Have you guys looked at the slates? I don't have that in my gallery, do I? I would love to show you guys the slate. Because I did make, in fact, I have a short. I did make a short about some of the colors you can make. You can do all these things. I just don't think I have it in here. Do I? But the slate, man, 25 grand starts off at. Of course, I would like to get it. You can get an option with make it like a little camper shell. Here's this. So here's they call this the blank slate. Because it just comes out gray. That's just the little 2-door. Well, all of them are 2 doors, but you can get like this camper shell type of a deal, and you can get where it makes it kind of like a hatchback, and then you can do wraps. They call you can wrap it in all these different colors. You can make almost any design you want. Starting off at 24.9. If you do the add-ons, you're looking at 30 grand. If you do the camper shell or the hatchback type of thing, and then the wraps are going to cost money. But you can start off at 24.9, and then as you go, if you get more money, then you want to add on, you can add on, you know. Squirrel Girl, member for 11 months. Yippee, Squirrel Girl. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a member. I really do appreciate you. I really do. Appreciate you being a member for 11 glorious months. Thank you, Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl says, glad I found TJ and best chat group on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And I do agree. This is the best chat group. Bar none. By far. DVD, TJ, have you thought about ARP? They could help you in getting a cheaper rates on your car insurance. I haven't yet because I'm not really in that stage yet. I don't have a car, you know. But yeah, that's a good suggestion. AARP. The other insurance company that I've used a lot is Progressive Insurance. Not only do they usually have pretty good rates, maybe AARP. I'll have to check into it. They might get better rates, but Progressive has always been pretty good. And from what I understand, they are owned by, or at least the original owner. I don't know if he's still alive or not, but was a Progressive. Maybe is a Progressive. I don't know if he's dead or alive or whatever. But so Progressive isn't just like some catchy name. I mean, I think they actually are Progressive owners, and they contribute to progressive causes. So that's something to think about, as opposed to, you know, Geico or whatever. You know, they're just your typical, you know, big corporations or whatever. But from what I've learned, or what I understand is Progressive Insurance they do donate and contribute to progressive causes. So that's something to think about. So Progressive Insurance, I'll check out AARP, but right now I'm not. I don't even have a vehicle, but when that time comes, yeah, for sure, check into them. Brooklyn says I have AARP Hartford Insurance. Okay. Is it good? Is that just like, is that like life insurance? Hartford? Does Hartford have, what kind of insurance do they? Do they have all kinds of insurance? All kinds of different insurances? We're down to 4 minutes, 2 seconds. Can we get 3 more in 4 minutes and 2 seconds? We're counting down. Here's the countdown clock. 3:59. Brooklyn says car and condo insurance. Oh, okay. I forgot. I think I have some sort of apartment insurance. They make you get an apartment insurance. I don't even remember who it's with. I just signed up for it so I could get into this place. DBD says, I found out you don't have to be 50 years old to join AARP. Oh, really? I remember I started getting stuff in the mail from them. I think I was in my 50s. And I would just automatically throw it away because I was like, God damn it, I'm not old yet. Don't be sending me this old people shit. I'm so angry about being old, but what are you gonna do? I mean, you know, it's kind of stupid to be angry about getting old. I mean, you know, it might be better than the alternative. I don't know. Squirrel Girl says, come on. Thank you, Squirrel Girl. Thank you so much. Yippee, Squirrel Girl. That puts us at, I think, 8. We got 2 more to go. 2 more to go. 2 minutes, 28 seconds. Are we going to make it? 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 Are we going to make the goal? I don't think I've ever done a 10 Super Chat goal before. Maybe I have. I don't know. I don't remember. Are we gonna make it? Can we make it to two more? Two more. We got 2 minutes, 27 seconds. Squirrel says, my mom used to tell me old age is not for sissies. She was right. Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was right. I'll tell you what, man. Getting old is a bitch. You know what I mean? It's really a bitch, man. I don't like it. But, I haven't kept myself in the best of shape. I could have been in better shape right now. I just haven't. I've just been lazy in my old age. You know? Oh, we're down to 105. Come on, everybody. Come on, 49 seconds just to get 2 more. Come on, you can do it. Come on, don't be such wussies. Don't be such wussies. Come on, just 2 more is all we need. Don't bring this shame upon yourselves if you don't make the goal. Come on, man, for the Cookie Nation. Where are my Cookie Nation people? Make us that goal. Whack P's hitting the 5 memberships. Thank you, Whack P. Yippee, going on to Whack P. You guys are doing it. I mean, you guys are doing good. But 9 seconds. Oof. We came so close. But it looks like time is up. Oh well. Thanks for trying, guys. You gave it your best, and that's all we could ask. You gave it your best shot. Maybe we'll do better next time. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, P-Dubs. Gifting 5 memberships. That's really, really super awesome. Thank you so much. We got all fucked. Something about we're all fucked. Naughty Nana got one. This is people I've never even seen before. Jin X, XOXO, Owlsy, Chris Carney. So maybe they'll come in and visit us. So thank you, P-Dubs. I appreciate that. That's a big help. Dave Weiss from Denver coming in with a $2 after the buzzer, but yippee. I think it was after the buzzer. Thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate you. Again, thank you so much for that. Unofficially, we're at 9. Josh says my wife would kill me. West Web, I'm lazy too, but I don't eat that much. You eat shit like fucking cabbage and shit, man. DVD, I'm sorry, DJ. We didn't make it. Hey, man, you guys were awesome. We got 9. We about doubled what we usually get. So thank you so much, or even more than doubled what we usually get. So thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate the support. I really, really do. Golf Marine says I just became a caregiver to my next door neighbor. Boy, did he have me running. Wow. Wes Webb says one of the reasons I lost the weight was so I could put off knee surgery. I need to lose weight because my left knee is starting to hurt. I don't want no fucking knee surgery. Squirrel says, oh my God, Naughty Nana does from Canada, has her own YouTube channel. She's funny as fuck and hates the orange buffoon. Was that one of the ones that got a thing? Naughty Nana does? Is that the same person that you're talking about? Right, P says you're welcome. Thank you so much. So Squirrel Girl says Naughty Nana is from Canada, has her own YouTube channel. Oh, that's cool. P Dubs has also watched Naughty Nana. Naughty Nana. Naughty Nana. I don't believe I've ever heard of her. I don't believe I've ever heard of her. But I hope she'll come in someday and say hello. Don't know why I'm speaking like this now. Half the time I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing. Yes, same person. All right, cool. Well, if you ever go into her chat, tell her to come on over to this chat. Why don't you? And say hello to all the folks in the driver's lounge. I'm out of water. I'm tempted to go get me another bottle of water because I'm very thirsty. I just change up the English accent in mid-sentence. Oh, I think BB is off now. Because now I got auto auction rebuild on. This guy has way too many cars, he says. And all I need is one. And he's got too many. Anyhow, I would like to share another picture of the slate, but I guess I don't know. You guys probably don't care about the slate. The slate mobile. I tried to get AI to all I wanted to do was because the pictures of my old El Camino are not in that great a shape. So I was just trying to get it to sort of like enhance the color or sort of colorize it or something. And then it came up with this. But if you look closely, that's just an AI version of my car. That's my house I used to live at when I was in high school. I mean, it was my parents, but my house because I was a kid. But that's not really how the El Camino looks. It looks kind of cool. I like the color. But I was trying to get AI to just do a straight, just sort of enhance the colors or bring back the color. Because a lot of the photos of my El Camino are faded. But that's not really accurate. I think the front grille is wrong. Those front fenders look wrong. But it's kind of cool looking. So there's that. I'm trying to find. I have a slate that I went through. You can go on the Slate website and you can build your own little slate car, whatever color you want, all the different options and stuff for the different the roof and stuff. Oh, maybe this was it. Oh, here's a video. Oh, is this the video I made? I don't think there's any sound. Oh yeah, so here's a video I made. So that's the blank slate. That's the blank slate right there. Can you guys still hear me? Oh yeah, so here's a video I made. So that's the But then you can add colors and you can add all kinds of stuff. But just think for 25 grand, you get a brand new electric vehicle. It gets 205 miles of range. It has a good 0 to 60 time. I don't know if people are into that. Josh C says, TJ, you could pick up a part-time gig and use car sales and sell yourself a car. I've done used car sales before. I've been a used car salesman. So I'm experienced. I did it for about a year. Back in 2001. I actually started getting halfway decent at it, and then they fired me. I told that story about that, too. I don't know if I want to retell it or not. DVD says there were others besides the El Camino. You mean there were other cars that I owned? Yeah, I've owned a lot. Josh C says, I blame the weed for the logic in my previous statement. I thought this video had like the different colors on it. So far, it's just the gray. Anyhow, yeah, go to slate.auto or whatever it is and just play with it. Play with they have a little thing where you can choose different colors and different, that you can add like a camper shell or like this hatchback where it looks like a, kind of like a 4Runner, old one. So this was me going through, so this is me going through the price breakdown for the blank slate. And then the next one I think is going to be the next option, the next kind of camper shell option is going to be the next one. Unless that was it. Maybe that was it. Okay, that was it. But I have a whole video. I think there's one of my videos that I put out. West Webb, imagine all the possibilities. Something how we imagine all the possibilities. How we area at peak creativity. Imagine all the possibilities. I don't know. I'm trying to decipher what you meant, but Brooklyn, do you have to lie to people? No. You don't. And you shouldn't. I wouldn't work for a company that would make me lie to people to sell their shit. West Webb, I'm not a very good salesman. DPD, we're having cabbage and kale tomorrow with barbecue ribs and green goddess grilled chicken with mac and cheese, jalapeno, cornbread, potato salad, Mexican corn salad, and cranberry peach apple cobbler. My goodness gracious. My goodness gracious. What a feast. That sounds so delicious, except for the cabbage and the kale. That's the only thing. Everything else sounds wonderfully delicious. And you probably are such a magic cook or whatever that you're going to make that cabbage and kale taste delicious somehow, some way. Yeah, Scroll Girl says DPD. I'm going to your place. Yeah, let's all go to DPD's. We're going to have a big dinner, and then we're going to jump in the pool. And we're not going to wait 30 minutes after eating. Yeah, it sounds delicious. DPD, you've just successfully made everyone really hungry for some really great food. You should do your own like cooking channel, maybe. You know, just make us all even more hungry. Anyhow, guys, before the battery dies again on the microphone, like it did last time, I should probably go ahead and clock out. Just a quick, we'll do this one more time, a quick rundown on all the fan funding, as they call it here. Nick Rich, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Damon Dog, $1.99 super chat. DPD with a $20 super chat. Thank you, DPD. West Webb, $11.11 super chat. Thank you, West Webb. Squirrel Girl in there with a $2 super chat. Whack P264, otherwise known as P Dubs, in there with a coming in as a member. Becoming a driver. Squirrel Girl, $2 super chat. David Weiss from Denver, $2 super chat. Squirrel Girl with a truckiversary, 11-month truckiversary. Yay. Thank you, Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl with $2 super chat. Then Whack P, otherwise known as P Dubs, but sent 5, count them, 5 Trucker John gift memberships. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. And David Weiss coming in, rounding things out with a $2 super chat. Thank you guys so much for your support. It means so much to keep the show going and growing and keep us on the air. And also everyone who liked and subscribed and shared and hit the hype button. That's all free, and it's just as important. So thank you for doing that. We'll be back on Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'm kind of toying with the idea of different times. You know, I don't know. Just because of the driving schedule, getting home really late in the morning, in the wee hours of the morning. I'm thinking about maybe even pushing the time out even further. Maybe 11, maybe noon, my time. I don't know. I'm just something to think about. Because if I am going to be working, you know, because I don't like working. I don't like doing the cab job like early in the morning or afternoons. I really like the evenings. I think are the best. So, and then that means I get home really late. So I might be pushing the times out even later. So stay tuned and be on the lookout for that. But for now, we'll do it 10 a.m. on Tuesday, right here on the YouTube, on the old YouTubers. And we'll see you then. Squirrel Girl says he should have made the 10, but stupid credit union. Oh, no. Well, and you got a fraud alert. You did enough, Squirrel Girl. It shouldn't be on one person. You did enough, and you guys were great. I'm not dissatisfied. I'm very satisfied. So thank you guys so much for that, for the donos. Anyhow, guys, that's it for today. Just one thing to do is the words of wisdom. We got to get this in before the mic. It looks like the mic might be dying. You guys ready? You got your paper and your pencil ready and handy? Write this down. All right, you ready? Okay, so for today's words of wisdom.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant. couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I try to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again.
Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. In my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows. So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. So damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life. Everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot. You're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.
I don't mourn when evil men die. I don't feel sad, and I don't cry. Sometimes I wonder why it takes so long for evil men to die. But I want you to know that when you go, you won't be missed. And the ground where you'll lay, we're all gonna take a big giant piss. And for your end, we all anticipate, without any love and too exhausted to hate. Your long-lasting legacy will be one of disgrace and shame. Throughout the annals of history, your name will shrink, you'll lose your fame. And as you lay there drawing in your final breath, just know that you made us happiest in death. You will not be thought of kindly, and you won't be missed. And like I said before, on the ground you'll lay, I'm gonna take a big old piss.
Show's over. I'm out of here, folks. Bye.